MOT, moment of truth, is a great experience. Who is your company? It's the person that I'm dealing with at that moment. Smart people learn from their mistakes. Wise people learn from other people. That's why you're here. To talk to your associates about things that you're doing right. My statement is also things that you're doing wrong, so you don't need to make that mistake. So you can get better. Our job is to address that. Why the need for change? Why the need for new ideas? Why the need for collaboration? Why the need for continuous improvement? I said, tomorrow morning about 5 o'clock, I'm going to get up. I'm going to take the 2 mugs out of my room. I'm going to bring them downstairs. I'm going to lay them on the counter. You're going to fill them up with coffee. I'll pay you $5 a mug. I just want coffee. Then she gives me the finger. See, the finger is a very important communication device in this world. Your name, sir, is? Jerry. Jerry, when you have the finger in your face, don't you understand things a whole lot better? She says, sir, let me make this perfectly clear. You can't get coffee in our hotel 4-7. What don't you understand about that? Now I'm a highly educated customer on what? A mission. Folks, I've been at these hotels. I know what goes on behind the scenes. So what do? The next morning I get up. I put on jeans and a t-shirt. I don't comb the hair. I figure let's go make a visual. Envision me going across the lobby of this beautiful hotel. I pass them all. I walk into the kitchen area. Guy looks at me. He goes, who are you? I said, don't worry about it. He says, what do you want? I said, coffee. He said, well, sir, I happen to be responsible for the coffee. I said, great. Folks, in hotels this big, they're not small machines. They're large. I walk up to the coffee machine. I'm like, Nirvana. He says, how many cups do you want? I said, 6. He said, 6? Dude, you really love your coffee. I said, no, 2 are for me, 4 for the front desk. He said, what? I said, you don't want to go there, son. Envision me going across the lobby of this beautiful hotel, jeans, t-shirt, hair all askew. I walk up to the front desk. I lay 4 cups down, and what do I say? Tell Mary you can get coffee before 7 in this stupid hotel. Thank you. Why do I tell you the ridiculous story? All of a sudden, Charles calls me up and says, Rob, we're thinking about having our conference at the hotel next year. Have you been there? Yes. Should we go? What do I say? No. How many people I do business with? 1. Ladies and gentlemen, I learned a long time ago it rolls downhill. Management evidently didn't understand that the gatekeeper of their organization was the person at that front desk who should have said, when would you like coffee? That also doesn't mean the customer's always right. Sometimes we ask for things that we shouldn't have or you can't deliver. And you tell them that. We don't do that. But the point that I'm trying to make is that one right there. It's called the 8-16 rule. If you do a good job, they'll tell 8. You do a bad job, they'll warn 16. But they'll warn them about your organization. I mean, when you go to the awards banquet, and all of a sudden they give out the top awards. And let me give you an example, because I've done this at a lot of awards banquets. I mean, all of a sudden they'll say the #1 person. And that person will be down there and they'll be at their table. And the next thing you know, the CEO of the corporation announces it. And the lights go off and everybody starts jumping up and down. And they're sitting there and they walk up and they grab the award. And they're standing in front of everybody feeling wonderful. Great, fantastic. And as they're walking off the stage, you know what management's thinking? What have you got going for me next year? It's not even cold in your hand. You know what we call it in business? Hero to zero. Folks, enjoy it. Feel the accolades. But then understand, you got to go deliver again. And if you didn't get it, you can get it next year. We would come up with this list. Now think about the list. Do you want somebody that's energetic, happy, upbeat, knowledgeable, prompt, cheerful, pleasant, fast, efficient, friendly? How about cordial, attentive, kind, go-getter, accommodating, gracious, professional, polite, courteous, and helpful? I want those kind of people. Well, we would hand people this list when we were trying to hire them, and we would say, which ones aren't you? There's some really stupid people in this world. They'll be sitting there going, oh, I'm not that, and I'm not that, and oh, I'm not that, and I'm really not this side, you know? And so for some reason, we didn't hire them, okay? It's like, here's 20 cents, go buy a clue. You don't have one, all right? You know, but when you look at it and you say, wait a second, that's a pretty neat list. My statement to you is, which ones aren't you? How many people in this room have made a mistake? Show of hands. Thank you. How many made it twice? Thank you. Notice I didn't take my hand down. See, it never ceases to amaze me when I do strategic planning sessions for major corporations. I don't do generic ones. I call them up and I say, you know, let me see your FUBAR list. Or what? Your fouled up beyond all repair list. It's amazing how many companies don't have one. And so if I was starting a company and I was hiring people, I mean, let's see, your name, sir, is? Sir? Doug. We hired Doug. So what do? I go get the FUBAR list. I walk up to Doug and say, Doug, I'd like you to read this list. We've already made these mistakes. We don't need you to make them, Bubba. We'd like you to go make some new ones. For you new ones out there, go to the people that have been doing this and start asking those questions. If we're going to be the #1 district in the United States, we've got to share that information. Let's don't make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Example, I'm out of the country doing a program for people that manage large skyscrapers, big old tall buildings. We're down in Cancun. I got about 250 executives. And I said, somebody give me a FUBAR. Guy raises his hand. He said, I got this 100-story building in downtown New York. I said, all right. He said, we bought these new containers and we mismarked them. He said, one night we filled the soap dispensers in every restroom with white latex paint. I said, you got to be kidding me. He said, no. I mean, in defense of the person that made the mistake, white soap, white paint, it looked about the same. But get a visual the next morning. People are down in the restroom in a 100-story building going, this is some serious soap. I mean, can you get it off? I can't get it off my hands, you know? He said, my phone rang off the hook. I said, is anybody get anything worse than that? Guy instantly raised his hand. He says, that's nothing. 250 executives went, that's nothing? He said, my people clean the toilet seat tops with phosphoric acid. He says, you don't want to go there. We put rashes in very bad places. I mean, you start thinking about sharing the information and getting an understanding of what we're talking about here today. FUBARs, ladies and gentlemen. First time hurts, but it's a learning experience. I've had some great mentors in my time. One of them worked for me, and we made a major mistake. We're getting ready to lose a customer. And Gail says, Rob, I'm going to go visit this customer. And I said, we are? She says, yeah, do you want to come? I said, yeah, I own the company. Let's go. So what do? I need a chair. Hang on one second. You got to see this. Excuse me. If I kill myself, I'll sue. We go to drive to the customer. Gail does what? She says, Rob, pull into that that hardware store. I said, why? She said, just bear with me. We go in. She says, sir, do you sell hemp ropes? Yeah. She said, I need 10 feet. I said, Gail, what are we doing here? She said, just go with me here, boss. We get 10 feet of hemp rope. She said, sir, do you know how to make a hangman's noose? Yeah. The guy makes a hangman's noose. I said, Gail, what are you doing? She says, don't worry about that. We drive to the client. We walk into the front. The receptionist said, I can't believe you showed up. You don't need any reason. Just go on back. They'll kill you when you get there. We walk into the president's office. Gail doesn't say a word. She grabs a chair. She puts it in the middle of the floor. She stands in the chair. She takes the rope. She throws it overhead. She pulls it up, and she says, kick the chair. He said, what? She says, kick the chair. I deserve to die. I'm standing in the back of the office going, far out. Not only does he think we won't do business with us, now he thinks we're stupid, okay? And Gail's sitting there and the magic starts to happen. She says, kick the chair. And the guy says, no, Gail, it wasn't that bad. She says, oh, yes, it was. Kick the chair. He said, no, Gail, it wasn't that bad. And then she said the words. She said, well, then what should we do? And he started explaining it. When we walked in there, folks, we didn't have a customer. When we walked out, not only did we have a customer, we had a customer that explained what? That explained what we needed to do to get better. Sometimes, folks, when we make a mistake, the best thing that you could ever do is say what? I blew it. I blew it. But guess what? Let me tell you how fast we're going to fix it. And all of a sudden the client says, gosh, Yellow blew it. But boy, did they fix it fast. Your customer understands mistakes. And guess what, folks? They make them, so do we. But it's how we fix them that counts. We now have an opportunity to do what? Take it to the next level. And that's what I'm trying to identify to you. Take it to the next level. Admit the mistake, and then fix it. And I hope you have a great year. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. Thank you. Oh, thank you.